what up, people? It's your boy Chig. You are through to Chig Flicks, the movie and music review channel. I give you my opinion on movies I've seen or music reviews that I'm going to listen to. I hope you guys are well. Please do stick a like on this video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. You guys are awesome, the ones that have been subscribing recently. We are now through that 200 barrier, so let's see if we can keep this thing motoring and go on to 300. That would be a really big test for us. So let's see if we can keep it going. Yeah, and just hit that subscribe button if you can already. That would be great. Okay, so I saw Christopher Nolan's new film, Tenet. I did promise that I would give my thoughts on the review today. This plot is really difficult to describe. It's really difficult to describe. Um, Essentially, a man is put on. He's an agent of some type. I think we find out he's CIA. He's a CIA agent, and he specializes in the really difficult cases, almost like the Tom Cruise type of person. He specializes in preventing wars, preventing worldwide catastrophes, essentially. And he's given a case by somebody, um, which is a case unlike any other, and that involves inversion. Now, inversion is essentially the act of doing something backwards. So, shooting a bullet that is shot backwards. So, instead of shooting a bullet from a gun to a target, it's from a target through a gun, back to a gun. Which you might think, well, why is that so bad? But like a bullet going through you is bad enough, but then going back through you will cause you some complications. And the person that has the ability to do this is planning to use this particular phenomenon to create essentially World War III. I think that is the most coherent way I can explain the film that I saw yesterday. All right, I'm going to talk about some good things and I'm going to talk some bad things, right? Good things, I thought that the film was beautifully shot. Apparently, they used Black Panther's cinematographer in the film, and you can tell it's very beautifully shot. It's just the scenes are captured very well. So that I think is really good. I think when the action happens, I think the action is very well choreo very well. It's very well stylized. I think is the best way of saying it. I was going to say the word I couldn't say, which was annoying. You could see that they've worked on it. I thought it was extremely well acted, particularly by the main focuses of the film. So I think your John David Washington. I'm so glad that he did well. I was nervous because I like him. I'm a big Ballers fan. I like him as Ricky in Ballers. I like him in Black Klansman. I thought this would be a different type of test for him, and it was a different type of test for him. I thought he was very, very good, led the cast well. I thought that Robert Pattinson, I'm starting to like him as an actor, you know. I'm starting to like him as an actor. I thought he was good in this as well. Supported my man really well. Elizabeth Debicki, I've seen her in a couple of things. I've seen her in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I've seen her in Widows. I thought she was excellent in Widows. I've seen her in a couple of other things as well. I thought she was, again, really good in this. She has a real class and poise to her acting. These Australian actors and actresses, they usually can act. And this is another example of that. And then, of course, they had the great, what's his name? The baddie. I've forgotten his name now. Kenneth Branagh, that's the one. Kenneth Branagh was in this. I thought he was big. He was a big over the top type of character, but he was the antagonist in this. And it's an interesting word I picked there. He was very much the antagonist. I only say that because the protagonist was actually the character's name in this movie. John David Washington, his name in the film, or his reference in the film, was the protagonist. That was his title. This is a film I'm going to need to see again. I'm not going to go to a cinema and risk it and see it again. Listen, I think cinema is doing great. They're doing everything they can to stay in business, aren't they? Because a lot of people still think that cinema is going to come to an end as an entity because of all this COVID stuff. And actually, I think they're doing everything that they possibly and realistically can as a business to survive as an entity. I'm not going to risk that trip again. It's a 3 hour film. My the wifey wanted me to warn you guys it was a 3 hour film. I'll be honest, she did not like this. This is not the one to take the other half. If you're a guy, and if you're a girl that appreciates this type of thing, I would say good luck. Heck, if you're a guy that appreciates it, listen, there's no gender thing here. There's a guy that you appreciate this type of film. I'd say brace yourself. I liked this film, but I must admit I had some issues with the movie. You know, you don't really get to understand what the point of the whole thing is. Like you find out what Tenet is to a certain extent. You find out what the purpose is to a certain extent. Because some of the time you're left there thinking, okay, what the scene starts off in a very big, very loud way, and then there's lots of slow parts. I think for me the most difficult part of this movie was the pacing. I should have been prepared. It's a Nolan film. It's going to be a minimum of 2.5 hours. I wasn't prepared for it to be 3 hours. It felt like a 3 hour movie. So that was a big problem for me, particularly between the second act and the third act. In my personal opinion, it felt like the end of the second act. It was kind of progressing to the third act quite quickly, and then it slowed right down to a halt. And in my opinion, it kind of I started to check out a little bit at that point. I kind of wanted something to continue to get me going again, and I got going again, and I liked the movie, but I couldn't help but thinking I could have waited for that to come out on DVD. Honestly, that was my feeling about it. I thought it was a good movie. Nolan is my favorite director. Him and Finch always have a habit of making me think when they write and direct something. This was another case of that. I'm 100% going to have to see it again because there are things that I'm sure I missed. There are still questions I have, which I'm sure the film answered. But by the time it got to the answer, part of me was just like, all right, let's just get cracking. Let's get moving. Um, it was a good movie. Would I rush to watch it again? Probably not. Do I have the intention of seeing it again? Yeah. Did I think it was better than what is that? What is Christopher Nolan's last movie that I really didn't like? Um did I think it was better than it wasn't his last movie. I shouldn't say that. Because his last movie was actually pretty good. Was it better than was see for me I thought Dunkirk was better, which is the last movie. But I thought it was better than Interstellar. I did think it was better than Interstellar. Um, it's not better than Memento, not better than Insomnia. Prestige is one of my favorite movies, as is Inception. But it was a good movie. It was what it was. It is what it is. Nolan is kind of like Tarantino in a way, where when they do a movie, you just put down whatever the fuck you're doing. You go and watch that movie no matter what. He's in that category of film performers at the moment. This is by no means a bad movie. I just feel like for me, you need to really be sharp, wide awake, taking everything that's being thrown at you, and then come to your own devices. For me, I thought it was a good movie. Certainly liked it more than my girl. Didn't like it as much as I was expecting to like it. And maybe that's why I'm left. It sounds like I'm not as satisfied as I should be. It was all right. It was good. It was good. It got the job done, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, I guess. But I think the best thing for you guys to do is to just go see it, form your own opinion, and then get back to the comment section and let me know what you thought of the movie. But for now, for me, in terms of grades, I'm going to give it a B. I thought it was a good solid movie. I'm certainly going to need to see it again. I'm not going to rush to see it again. I could happily wait for that thing to come on Blu-ray or DVD. But in terms of a visual, in terms of a spectacle, in terms of a well-performed thing, absolutely go and see it. But if you're looking for something that has a lot of character development, this is not a movie that you're going to particularly want to see. If you want to see something that you understand straight away, this is certainly not going to be the movie for you. But if you feel like there is something about Chris Nolan that you want to see and you feel that you're going to give it a chance, and is it worth the risk? Maybe, yeah, just about. It's worth the risk of going to a cinema. As long as the cinema does what they need to protect you, go and see it. I wouldn't go and see it more than once in the cinema. I don't think it's worth that risk. But go and see it at least once. So yeah, I'm going to give it a B. You guys let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments below. If you like this video, crush and destroy that like button. And let's keep the subscriber count moving because we're building people. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Take care.